for joining. You can see my screen.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for joining. So let's start. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnana-Shalakaya Sakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitani Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sarvana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagadana Salita Shri Vishakhanvitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyev Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye Ashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavate Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtaki Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Once again, welcome all of you for today's Bhagavatam class. So we are continuing Prahlad Maharaj's teachings. So we'll quickly recap what we discussed last week. Anyone can recollect some few points?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, ma'am.
Krishna consciousness can burn the seed of fruitive activities created by the modes of material nature. It is not merely a religion. It is cure for ignorance, karma, and cure for material bondage.
Yeah. So by practicing Krishna consciousness, what happens is that we get rid of all our karmic reactions, seed of karma, everything can be destroyed by the fire of knowledge of Krishna consciousness. Yes, Mother. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share? So we discussed last class, Prahlad was saying to his...
Prabhuji,
Yeah, Mother.
we saw that would-be mothers. Am I audible, Prabhuji?
Yes, go ahead.
We saw that the would-be mothers should listen Krishna Katha daily. Then a great devotee of the Lord will be born.
Yes.
Hearing Krishna Katha is very important at that time.
Yeah.
She needs to have only sattvic food. The atmosphere should be surrounded by Krishna Katha and teachings of Krishna.
Yeah. Very nice.
See, we discussed about evolution of Atma from small human animals to men. We saw that also. Different kinds of
bodies,
some births, some kind of animals, and finally men, human being.
Yeah. Correct. So, yeah, because we get different bodies according to the soul's desire. Yeah, we saw that Kayadu was continuously hearing about Krishna Katha from Narada Muni, and Prahlad was hearing all these topics. And that's why, even though he was only 5-year-old boy, he is able to give such a very deep knowledge which he has learned from Narada Muni. Yeah, very nice points you brought. So, by the mercy of Narada Muni, so the child in the womb of Kayadu, he could hear these transcendental topics. Yeah, so that's why Prahlad is able to give this knowledge to all his classmates. You know. So Prahlad is teaching about the different topics, changing bodies. Yeah. So all these things we discussed. Yeah. So we'll continue to hear from text 28 now. 29 actually. Yeah. Can anyone would like to read the Sanskrit sloka and the translation?
Gopaya Sahasranam Ayam Bhagavatot Yat Ishvara Bhagavati Yata Air Anjasa Ratihi. Translation of the different processes recommended for disentanglement from material life, the one personally explained and accepted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead should be considered all perfect. That process is the performance of duties by which love for the Supreme Lord develops. Thank you, Ji.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So here, so even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about many subject matters. There are Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and finally Bhakti Yoga. And there is also topics about Yajna, Tapa, charity. All this is all discussed in Bhagavad Gita. But ultimately, Krishna, what is the final instruction he is giving to Arjuna? What is the Charana Sloka? Anyone remember? 18th chapter.
सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज.
Yes, very nice. Thank you, Matish. That is the Charana Sloka. That is the final instruction to Arjuna that surrender unto him. Sarva Dharman Parityajya. Although Krishna talked about so many dharmas, the ultimate dharma for all the living entity is to surrender to Krishna. So the purpose of following any karma, jnana, and ashtanga path is ultimately should come to this path of surrender. And that is what Krishna is saying. That is a perfect process, ultimate process. To develop love towards Krishna, that is what is required. Just like, for example, the student is going to the school, college, and ultimately, what is the purpose? Is to get the degree, right? Is to be an engineer or doctor. That is the ultimate purpose, not to get stuck up in only the lower standards. He should gradually mature himself to become a qualified engineer or doctor. So that is why this secondary school, higher secondary school, all this is there. So same way, this Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga are all in the ladder. These are all in the lower rung of the ladder. But the highest platform is to come to the platform where one can do pure
Kishore Ji, you are not audible.
Hare Krishna, I think there was some disturbance. 1 minute.
Might be network issue. Not audible. Now, okay.
Yeah, once. Hare Krishna, can you see the screen now?
Now, okay. We are seeing.
Yeah, we can
Yes,
see.
Yeah, please read the translation.
Yes, Prabhu.
Go ahead, read the translation.
Hare Krishna, can I read it,
Translation.
please?
Yeah, please go ahead.
One must accept the bona fide spiritual master and render service unto him with great devotion and faith. Whatever one has in one's possession should be offered to the spiritual master, and in the association of saintly persons and devotees, one should worship the Lord, hear the glories of the Lord with faith, glorify the transcendental qualities and activities of the Lord, always meditate on the Lord's lotus feet and worship the deity of the Lord strictly according to the injunctions of the Shastra and Guru. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. So Prahlad is giving 8 instructions to his classmates. So the path of spiritual life begins by approaching a spiritual master, bona fide spiritual master, and render service to him. And that's what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya padekshayanti te nyayam jnaninas tattvadarshina. And then offer whatever we have for spiritual master service, associate with saintly devotees, worship the Lord, glorify him, meditate on his transcendental lotus feet, worshipping the deity like this. So this is the path of Bhakti Yoga. So this is very common in the sense that this is for even to get material education, we go to a proper teacher to learn the science. Same way, Bhakti, the path of Bhakti is also, it's not something cheap. We have to approach a proper guru who can guide us in the path of spiritual life. Most people are not able to progress in spiritual life because that they don't get a proper guru, spiritual person who can guide them, and therefore they do not know how to progress in spiritual life. So like here we see in the case of Srila Prabhupada, he himself is fortunate to meet his spiritual master, Bhakti Siddhanta, His Holiness, His Grace, His Divine Grace, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. First, he was reluctant to go and meet him, but because his friend insisted, he went and met him. And by that one meeting, this whole Krishna consciousness movement has started because of the first meeting of Srila Prabhupada with Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. So in the first meeting only, he told him, why don't you preach Krishna consciousness in the English-speaking world? So Srila Prabhupada took that instructions very deeply in his heart. And therefore, now we can see the whole world, people are able to follow the path of bhakti. So this is the mercy of the Guru. So same way that in spiritual life, and therefore we need to understand the importance of Guru by approaching the Guru and learn from him. So that is the system, parampara system. So that's how here we see Prahlad is also getting from Narada Muni. So the whole system is that will be fortunate if we can get and we are all very fortunate because Srila Prabhupada is a Siksha Guru for all the followers of ISKCON. So So he has given us the books. We just have to get it to the understand through a proper parampara, and then we can understand, get this knowledge, and that's how our spiritual life should start. So we should not just, after hearing, we should also do some practical seva by uh, by by in the association of devotees. We can, wherever we are, we can be in touch with the nearest temple, and in the association of devotees, it will be easy for us to perform devotional service. So this is the process. For anyone who wants to advance in spiritual life must follow all this process. Then we can progress very quickly. Text 32. Can someone read the translation?
One
Hare
should
Krishna.
always remember Supreme Personality of Godhead in his localized presentation as Paramatma, who is situated in the core of every living entity's heart. Thus, one should offer respect to every living entity according to that living entity's position or manifestation. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So Prahlad is saying that Krishna is not only in Vaikuntha, he is there in everybody's heart as Paramatma. He is there with all of us. So he is the inner guide. He is the witness and the well-wisher for all of us. So whatever we are thinking, whatever we want to, everything is knowable to Lord Krishna. Just like the two birds in a tree, Krishna is situated in the heart of every living entity. One is the Jivatma and another one is Paramatma. And Paramatma knows exactly what we are thinking, what we are feeling, everything he knows, the past, present, and future. And also Prahlad is saying that we should be respectful to everyone because in everyone's heart, Krishna is there, not only in human being, all the living entities, like animals, trees, birds, insects. In everyone's heart, Krishna is there as Paramatma. So when we are offering respects, that means we are offering respects to Paramatma. That we need to understand. So we have to see the Lord in all beings. So therefore, then we automatically develop love and respect and unity for all. So in the whole world now, the problem is everyone is in, there is a hatred among everybody. One person does not like the another person, another country, like that. The reason is that they don't understand that the same Supreme Lord is there in everyone's heart as Paramatma. So if that knowledge is there automatically, then there will not be any hatred among people. But unfortunately, people don't even have this basic knowledge that the same Supreme Lord is there in everyone's heart. So a person who is in knowledge, lack of knowledge of Krishna consciousness is the cause of all the problems. That's why we are seeing that so many animals have been killed every day. So all these things will stop if everyone start understanding, have this knowledge that each living entity is very sacred and the Lord, Supreme Lord, is staying in everyone's heart. So Prahlad is teaching his friends that do not hate it. Try to see that the Lord is there in every living entity's heart. That way you should respect everyone. So if you disrespect anyone, the Lord will not be happy. Therefore, a devotee is always respectful to anyone. In the Bhagavad Gita, also in the 12th chapter, Krishna says that a devotee is a well-wisher and he never, because of him, there will not be he will not put anyone else in the difficult situation. That is a characteristic of a pure devotee. So in text 33, Krishna is saying, Prahlad is saying that if you do in this way pure devotional service, what will happen? Then you will conquer the 6 enemies. What are the 6 enemies? It's listed here. Lust, anger, greed, illusion, madness, and jealousy. Kama, Krodha, Moha, Bhaya, Kama, Krodha, Lobo, Moha, all these things will disappear from the heart. Anyone who claims to be a devotee, if he does proper devotional service, then he will be able to defeat all the 6 enemies. So that is a result of engaging in devotional service. Otherwise, it is not possible. Because Krishna is saying in the Bhagavatam, it is said in the Bhagavatam, Shinvatam Shvakata Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridihantastohi Abhadrani. These abhadras, these unwanted things which is lurking in the heart of the Jivatma, which is the cause of all the problem. If a person is a diseased condition, he cannot act properly. So what is the root cause? The root cause of what is the symptom of this disease is these things are there: lust, anger, greed, illusion, and madness and jealousy. So unless this diseases is removed from the heart, he cannot be happy. People, we know that if we are physically not well, if we have some disease, we go to the doctor and we get some medicine and then we get cured. But if the disease is in the form of lust, anger, greed, illusion, madness, and jealousy, then where is the medicine for that? You cannot go to ordinary doctor. You cannot go and say to allopathy doctor, doctor, please give me some medicine. I have anger, greed, illusion. So the allopathy or homeopathy or any pathis cannot give you medicine for these diseases. And these diseases is there in 99.9% of the population. That is the root cause of all the problems in this world. So why the world is not in peaceful situation? Because everyone is in a diseased condition. So therefore, these diseases will affect. This is like a pandemic. So one diseased person and then another diseased person, he will also get contaminated. The whole world is under the complete pandemic of these 6 enemies. So therefore, that is why people are not, even though there are so much of material comforts are available, but still they are not happy. Just like a very rich person, he may have millions of dollars in his accounts, but if his disease is there, he cannot enjoy his life. Same way, people want to preserve these diseases. At the same time, they want to become happy. How is this possible? If you want to enjoy life, relish life, then first of all, you must be in good health. Otherwise, it is not possible. Therefore, Prahlad is saying that unless you engage in devotional service, you cannot get rid of these diseases. And these diseases are spread in the form of all kinds of media, social media, everywhere this disease has been spread in the form of cinema, entertainment, all these things. People don't know the harmful effect of all these things. They think that they are actually spending good time with all these medias, but that is, they don't actually realize they are getting contaminated by this, infected by these diseases through all these entertainments. So therefore, only a devotee can understand, knows all these things. One who has knowledge of spiritual knowledge, one who regularly reads Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, only for him, it's possible for him to understand the real situation. So therefore, as devotees, we should be very careful not to get infected further and further, because the infection is the root cause that we are suffering in this material world. So therefore, the medicine is what? The cure is what? Krishna Katha. So the more we hear, the more we chant, the more we discuss about spiritual subject matter, then the more we become cured from this diseases which is binding us in this material world. So Krishna himself saying in Bhagavad Gita, Kama, Krodha and This lust, anger, and greed, lobha. These three are the three gateways to hell. And what should be very careful? Trividam naraka shedam. So Krishna is saying very clearly in Bhagavad Gita, lust, anger, and greed. It is the enemy, sin. And in the third chapter also, Krishna talks about when Arjuna is asking that why is a person is forced to do sinful activity. Krishna is saying it is because of karma, lust, that one is able to, one is forced to take birth in this material world. Yes, Venkatraman Prabhuji, you have some question?
Yes. Yeah, but you told that, but in the house, small insects like mosquitoes and cockroaches are disturbing our life, flies and other things. For that, what to do? God is in everybody's heart. I'm having this doubt.
Yeah, so mosquitoes are there, so you can have mosquito net to protect yourself. Prabhupada used to have mosquito nets in Mayapur. Mayapur also is there. So mosquito nets are there, or some this way you can protect yourself. You can't avoid. This is Adi Bhautika, Adi Devika. These kleshas will be there always in this material world.
Protecting ourselves is also called dharma, no?
Yeah. So you can cockroaches and all. What you can do, we should try to keep our places very clean. Cockroach comes to a place where it is untidy, and there are this what's called there's one powder which is available. This is not it will not kill the cockroach. What is that powder? It is called. It's available in the pharmacies. I forgot the name. For carom board, you use this powder. Forgot the name.
Boric powder.
Boric. Yeah, you can buy this powder and put it in all these corners and where you are getting cockroaches. It is a natural repellent. It will go off. So we tried in our house. It's working. At the same time, it does not kill the cockroach. Don't use all these pesticides and other thing which will kill the cockroach. Okay, so you try this one, and we have applied in our areas, and it didn't come for very long time. It's very effective, boric acid powder. So like this, as much as possible, we should take care in such a way that we don't unnecessarily cause harm to other living entities. As devotees, we should be very careful on that. Is that okay for you, Prabhu?
Yeah, it's okay.
Thank you. So like that. So the main problem problem for Kali Yuga, people don't know what is the cause of their suffering. What is the main disease what they are having? They are thinking that by going to gym, by developing your muscles, all these are all fine. But that is a physical body. But the main problem is within our consciousness, which is the subtle bodies, mind, intelligence, and ego, which is getting constantly polluted by the unnecessary things of this material world. We are constantly bombarded with social medias, which increases our lust, anger, and greed. People don't realize that problem, because people spend so much time in this social medias, and they get infected easily. So we have to protect ourselves by not to expose unnecessarily all the social medias, but instead focus our consciousness, our time, utilize your time properly in reading spiritual subject matters. That way we can protect ourselves. That is what Prahlad is saying. So if you engage in devotional service the way what he said, then it will protect us from all the 6 enemies. Okay. In text 34, Prahlad further says, one who is in devotional service, he can easily control his senses, and such a person only can become liberated. So unless we control our senses, it is not possible. That is the basic necessary things. So we cannot just eat or hear whatever we like according to the demand of our senses. We have to regulate our senses. Krishna says that is why the first 6 chapters mostly talks about how to control our senses. We have to follow some rules and regulations. And that's how we can control our senses. Otherwise, Krishna is saying the senses are compared to venomous serpents. Venomous serpents means the strike. It can strike at any moment. So the sense, like recently, I just saw here one news that in Pune, one girl, because she doesn't want to get married, she conspired and then with another lover, and then both of them went to a secluded place and then they killed her to whom she is supposed to get married. So like this, people who don't have any control over the senses, they get involved in all these criminal activities. And they are caught now and the whole life is spoiled, and they are from very wealthy family. And see, that is how, although they are educated, they have everything in their life, but since they don't have any control over the thought process or the mind, and they are indulged in all this activity. And this is not one case. Everyday newspapers, so many cases we are seeing that people who are supposed to be well educated, well positioned in society, but because they don't know how to control their mind and senses, they are into all sorts of trouble. So therefore, that is why it said we have to regularly hear about Krishna's pastime. That is why that Nityam Bhagavata Sevya, one has to read every day and discuss these subject matters. And Prahlad says if anyone does about regularly all these activities, what happens? He develops some symptoms. What is the symptoms? He says that when he engages in pure devotional service, then his hair stands on end, and then we tears from his eyes, and then his voice falters, and he dances in ecstasy. He sings very loudly, cries deeply. These are the symptoms of a devotee who is advancing in devotional service. Automatically, these symptoms will manifest. Hmm. Like Mahaprabhu is saying in Sikshashtakam that he is feeling separation, he is feeling the whole world is shunyaitam. Without Krishna, he feels the whole world is big zero. So these are all advanced symptoms of a devotee who is engaged in devotional service. So this can happen only for a devotee who is sincerely engaged in devotional service. So Prahlad is teaching all these things, symptoms can happen to a devotee. And then he further gives further symptom of a pure devotee. Sometimes he's just like a mad person. He laughs, he chants, and then he in deep transcendental meditation, he offers respect to all the living entity. Sometimes he breathes very heavily and loudly chant Hare Krishna mantra. So like this, these are a devotee who is just like a person who is spiritually matured. He develops all these symptoms. So one who doesn't have a proper knowledge of spiritual knowledge, he may think that spiritually realized people are mad people. It is not so. Because they are engaged in devotional service, these symptoms will manifest. Just like a person, sometimes we see in the cinema, right? The person who is in love with a beloved, he becomes mad, and then he almost like dances, and then he cries. So these are all based on bodily attraction. But these attractions are there in spiritual, because he is so much attracted to Krishna. He is always addicted to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. That's why you see some devotees, they are constantly chanting Hare Krishna. How is this possible? Because they are in so much love with Krishna. If you read the great devotees, Alvars, if you read all those teachings, you will see that how they are completely immersed in chanting the holy names. Because they are very advanced devotees. So these symptoms cannot be imitated or cannot be understood by people who are not have sufficient knowledge, who don't have sufficient knowledge of spiritual life. So in text 36, Prahlad further says, what happens eventually, he becomes free from all material contamination, his mind and body converted into spiritual qualities. And then there is no other trace of ignorance and material consciousness, and all material desires is disappeared. And constantly thinking of Lord's pastimes, he is able to meditate upon the lotus feet of Krishna. So in the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about all these things. Krishna says, Manmanam abhamad bhakto matyajimam namaskuru. That you always think of me, at the same time carry out the duty of fighting. Tasmat sarvesu kalesu mam anusmara yudhyacha. So Krishna is saying to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, you have to perform your duty, but at the same time, tasmat sarvesu kalesu. At all time, you should always think of me. So two things he is telling to Arjuna. Not just only doing our material duties, but at the same time, we should also practice thinking of Krishna. And that comes gradually. So initially, we may not be able to think of Krishna all the time, but gradually, systematically, we should train ourselves. That's why we have to perform. That's why Prabhupada says we have to chant minimum number of rounds. He gave a stipulation that if you chant 16 rounds every day, a person who is serious want to go back home, back to God at this lifetime, should come to a level of chanting 16 rounds, 16 into 108 times of Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So 16 into 108 times. But a person in the beginning stage, we will find it very difficult. You may think how you can chant. But once you develop gradually your love for Krishna, then automatically everyone can come to the stage. Because the more you like to chant, the more you chant, the more you like to chant. That is the result of chanting Hare Krishna mantra. So like that, one can gradually, just like Prahlad, he is always able to immerse in thoughts of Krishna. So we can come to that platform also gradually by following this sadhana bhakti. And then Prahlad, again, now further he is saying that why is it important to come to this stage? And then he says that the real problem of life, everyone knows now, that the repetition of birth and death. So that is a problem of life. People are not able to take up spiritual life seriously because they do not know what is the real problem of life. The real problem of life is that Janma Mrityu Jaravadi Dukkha Doshana Darshanam. That like in a wheel, we are caught up in this material world, and we are like circus wheel is there. We are going up and down in this material world. Sometimes we go to heavenly planets, sometimes we go to the lower planets like this. And we are caught up in this material world. And this material world is like a big wheel. And as long as we are stuck up in this wheel of material world, then we cannot stop our suffering. So therefore, Prahlad is saying that if you are constantly engaged in devotional service, then you become free from the cycle of birth and death. And this will stop for a person who is engaged in pure devotional service. So therefore he is saying, my dear friends, O sons of Asuras, start your devotional service immediately. Take the process of devotional service seriously. Meditate upon Krishna, worship the Super Soul within everyone's heart, see the Lord in all. You get systematically, start doing devotional service, start chanting Hare Krishna mantra. And this is the only solution for escaping from this, all the suffering, to put full stop from all this suffering. So we may think that why Prahlad is so pessimistic about this material life. Prahlad is not, why is he always telling that this material world is a suffering, right? We have to understand that we cannot create paradise in this material world. Also, we should realize that we are not in a paradise, but the option is there. Now we can go to paradise. We can go to the spiritual world. Hmm? So there are many views of that. Some people believe technology will create paradise on the earth, right? They think that science will solve all human problems. Hmm? Better technology will improve everyone's life. They hope the future will become almost perfect. There will not be any suffering. People will not become old. People will not get disease. People will not die. They are hoping that. That is hoping against hope. The another view is that some people think that the earth was originally a very paradise and nature already provides everything we need. So they believe humans have damaged that paradise. So they blame uncontrolled technology for many problems. But what does Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita? Krishna presents different understanding. He says neither view is completely correct. The material world has always been temporary and it is always contained suffering. Disease, old age, death always exist. Therefore, this world has never been a perfect paradise. Technology can help, but only partially. Definitely, technology can improve some aspect of life. It can reduce certain hardships. It can make communication easier. It can improve our healthcare. But we have to understand this is only a stopgap solution. Also, technology creates so many problems also. Technological advance, now that pollution increasing, forest disappears, climate changes, natural resources are being exhausted. So trying to create paradise often creates new difficulties. So that's why there is no solution in this material world. So nature alone is not enough. We see the nature is very wonderful. It's supporting our life. But the problem is that here we are in a material world which is in a temporary, and it is contaminated because of uncontrolled technologies. And it is said people who are living in places like Delhi and Bombay, so polluted places, it is like smoking 10 packets of cigarettes every day. Such a pollution has happened in all the cities. So therefore, the Bhagavad Gita saying that we need to understand that real paradise is available in Krishna's abode. And that's what Krishna is saying repeatedly in Bhagavad Gita, Taddham Paramam Mama. So we should have complete faith in this, that yes, Krishna is talking about his place is Vaikuntha Loka, Goloka Vrindavana. That is where we are all supposed to go. That is where we are supposed to be there. Because we have left this paradise, we have come to this material world, we are suffering. Therefore, we should make our life goal is to go back home, back to Godhead by practicing Bhakti Yoga very seriously. So, before our final exam, death comes, we should be prepared for that one. And that exam can come anytime also. Just like people, we are seeing that so many famous people are dying, heart attack, cardiac arrest, so many things are happening. We are seeing, and we never know when is the final exam will come. So we should be prepared for that one at any time by seriously practicing devotional service. So that is we need to understand this way. That's why Prahlad Maharaj is urging his classmates, don't wait, start immediately. Start practicing devotional service seriously. Don't wait till the end of your life because we never know when the exam will come. So Prahlad further states here now that the Supreme Lord always exists in everyone's heart and he is the well-wisher of all the living entities. So why then people are not taking Krishna consciousness seriously? They are wasting their time in unnecessarily engaging in sense gratification. They are addicted to all kinds of modern things. They make their life, that is the ultimate goal, to get a very big mansion or a big expensive vehicles, accumulate huge amount of money. In this way, people think that they can increase the happiness of their life. But the fact is that no one can increase their happiness of life by artificial arrangement. Because the happiness, Prahlad further says later, that happiness what we can experience in this material world is a limited one. So we are seeing in our day-to-day life that not everyone who's working very hard, they don't become like a Ambani or Adani. It's not possible. So we are all tightly controlled by our laws of karma. And just like a animal which is tied to a wooden pole, that to the length of the rope it can move, same way our karma will restrict us. So that is why each one has got you can get minimum amount of whatever amount of their material pleasures or happiness. We are limited to it. We cannot extend that beyond a certain extent. But we can engage in devotional service and we can remain satisfied with whatever Krishna provides us without over endeavoring, too much endeavor in our material life. That's what Prahlad is saying. So don't get too much enamored by this external happiness of this material world because everything is temporary. So even though so we need to understand the temporary nature of this material. You may accumulate millions of dollars, but still, what will happen? One day we have to leave all these things, right? So how much space is required for us to stay comfortable? How much money is required? Whatever is required, whatever Krishna provides, we should be satisfied. And our goal should be not material things, so should be which is much, much higher, that is spiritual. Right? That Krishna can give you much more happiness for all of us. What we are looking for, spiritual happiness. And there is no shortage for that one. But we should be simply hankering for that one. Because we do not know what is spiritual happiness, we are running behind all this imaginary or the temporary happiness of this material world. But time is such a factor that it will not allow anyone to enjoy beyond certain limit. Because even the richest of richest person has to die one day and he has to leave all the wealth. Right? So therefore, Krishna teaches in Bhagavad Gita, don't be so much attached to the temporary nature of this material world. We should always realize that this world is temporary. We are living in a illusory temporary world. So therefore, he is saying to his classmates that by performing great sacrifices, like in this age, the great sacrifice is chanting Hare Krishna mantra. Some people aspire that thinking go to the different planets, they will become more happy. It doesn't happen. Brahma Bhavana Loka Punaravartina Arjuna, Krishna says. Then even if you go to Brahma Loka, you have to come back to this material world. So heavenly pleasure is also temporary. Even the Devatas, they may live for hundreds and thousands of years, but still they cannot live permanently there. So Shine Punya Bhaktaloka Mishanti, they have to come back to this material world again. Right? So therefore Prahlad is saying to his classmates that don't be like a materialistic person, that he plans that he by his intelligence he keeps on thinking how to accumulate more and more things of this material world. Because of that, what happens? He gets frustrated and then he does not get the desired results also. He gets the opposite results. In the material world, no one can get complete satisfaction. He may plan big things, but ultimately those things may not happen unless Krishna sanction it. So if we don't get what we want, then we get frustrated. So that is how material life is designed. So another important thing he is saying, Prahlad, is a very good, very shocking statement, maybe for all of us. He's saying if you want to be really happy, then he's saying don't try to become more happy by material way, because your happiness will turn into distress. That is how this whole world is designed. As soon as one begins his activities for happiness, his condition for distress also begins. This is like two sides of a coin. A coin has got two sides, right? Same way, one side is happiness, but one side is distress, which we will not see actually. So in the material world, anyone who tries to become happy in his own plan, that nature will not allow. It will force. Like for example, the Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple. So in his last during his life's last journey, he was saying these things. Even though I have a lot of money, now the thing is that all that money is not helping him because he has a ill health. So same way that we have to understand this nature of this. We are not very. That one may say that why we are so negative about this material. That means what we should do. We should not do anything to progress in material life. That's not what Prahlad is trying to say. The problem is that we may try, but we have to understand the nature of this material world. And don't try to squeeze happiness more and more by your material endeavors. That is not possible. That's what I is trying to say. For maintaining your body and yourself, you may require some amount of material activities to earn money or to maintain your family. That is all fine. But what is your goal, ultimate goal? The ultimate goal is what? To get spiritual happiness. That is what should be our ultimate happiness. Otherwise, we are in a complete illusion that we think that our material wealth will protect us, our relatives will protect us, all these plans will not work out. This body itself is a punishment for all of us. We think that our body is giving us a lot of happiness, our senses are happy, right? But actually, the fact is that our body is a jail. We are the Jivatma, Atma, we are living inside the body, inside the jail of this material body. We are not able to come out of this body. It's just like a person in the jail, he cannot come out of the jail easily, right? Same way, this Jivatma is caught up in this material body. So some of us in the male body, some of us in the female body, some of us in the body of the other living entities. But we have to realize this body is a punishment given by material nature because we all have desires which apart from serving Krishna. That's why we are in this material world. So now we have to realize and we have to know the path, how to get our spiritual body, how to go back home, back to God. And that is the purpose of our life. Prahlad is teaching that one. He is not telling that although the life is temporary, although this life is giving lots of trouble, but the wonderful point is that you can use this life to get a better future. That is why this human life is very, very rare. And having got this human life, we are getting the knowledge. What Prahlad is teaching, that is very, very rare. How many people are in this world who are interested to hear about these subject matters? Very hardly few, right? People are very much interested to see football, cricket, where they spend so much time, but they don't want to hear about these transcendental subject matters. So that is a misfortune. But now we got this opportunity, we should utilize and put a full stop for this material body, which is returned back to the earth. Our body is made up of what? Matters, earth, water, fire, and ether. When we leave this body, it will be burnt. It will go back to the earth, right? So before our body gets destroyed, we can utilize this body and get higher spiritual knowledge. So that's why Prahlad is urging his classmates. So when you are young, try to utilize your time. Don't waste your time unnecessarily in temporary nature because everything is measured in time in this material world. Just like we say, your time starts now. Our time has started as soon as we took birth in this material world. And every second, every minute, the fact is we are going towards our end of our life. And we never know how much time left out also. Therefore, we should be very, very careful about it. So therefore, Prahlad is urging that that to understand this nature, that we do not belong to this material nature, the temporary material nature. We should realize that we are this eternal soul. We are not this body, and therefore all our relationship, everything will end, and we should seek eternal happiness. And for that we should connect with Krishna. So this is the instruction Prahlad is giving to his classmates. So how wonderful these instructions, how wonderful, although he's just 5-6-year-old boy, is giving such a deep knowledge, which if we try to understand and apply in our life, then our life will become successful and we will enjoy true happiness, true spiritual happiness, which we are anchoring for actually. So which is what we are supposed to get. So Prahlad teaching, we should not be take it as a disappointing one. He is talking so much negative. He is not talking negative things. He is giving positive information about real happiness. So that is what he is trying to instruct his classmates. He is saying, don't be like the Asura, don't be like Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu is a demon and he is after always this temporary happiness. Instead, to seek for higher spiritual happiness. Don't look for stool. This happiness, what we experience in this material world, is like a very, very low happiness. But the real happiness is spiritual happiness. That is what we should aspire for. So this is the teaching of Prahlad Maharaj. So it's still 13 more slokas is there in this chapter. We'll conclude in the next class. That's Prahlad teaching. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope you got something from today's class. Hare Krishna. If you have any comments or questions, you can share.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much once again for joining, all of you. You share with all your friends and relatives, all of them can join here, right? So share with all your friends and relatives. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Kripa Sindhu Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Guru